Hey there, Eric here. So today I'll be going over concepts on how to get a high GPA in high school. So the first concept is priorities. What I would recommend doing here is to create a list of non-negotiable priorities and a list of negotiable priorities. So shown on the screen is the ones I had in high school. And the reason why I think this is important is because your non-negotiable priorities are the ones that you will basically try to do 99% of the time. And the negotiable priorities are the activities where, let's say you're in final season and you need to study way more. These are the activities you will cut down on. And just knowing or listing these out beforehand makes it much more easy to cut down on your activities if you really need to do so. All right, next, what's important is your study skills. And there's two types. One is innate and one is controllable. So the innate ones are generally the ones where you're born with a certain level in them, and you might be able to increase them, but you won't be able to increase them that much. And the best way to increase your study skills is to focus on the controllable ones, such as habits, techniques, interest, and reaching out. So what do I mean by habits? What I mean is, let's say you get into the habit of studying 3 hours every day after school. So what that means is that because you have this habit, it's much easier for you to study. And then techniques would be things like the Pomodoro technique, where you study for 25 minutes and then rest for 5 minutes. Interest is also important because if you're really interested in a subject, you're going to have a much easier time to learn it. And reaching out is basically asking the teacher for help if you need help, and also reaching out to tutors or your classmates for help if you need help in a certain learning a certain concept in class. Now let's look at an example of a high GPA student. So here I'm going to assume that this student needs around 3 to 5 hours of studying per day. And then they prioritize sleep, nutrition, sports, volunteering, and internships. And so here I just listed some activities they might do. And then I calculate out the study time they get, where I account for around 1 hour per meal and also travel time. So on the weekdays, they would get around 4 hours of studying in. And on the weekends, they would get around 7 hours of studying in. So the reason why this is a high GPA student is because they know exactly how much time they need to study, and they make sure they have enough time to study. But for example, let's say during final season, they might need 6 hours on the weekdays. So maybe they have to cut down on some activities, but for the most part, they have enough time to study. And that's what's the most important to getting a high GPA. Thank you for watching this video, and if you feel like you've learned something from this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to contact me on Instagram at ericxu.prive.